All right, we're gonna go on to another heated topic that happened this week. I haven't said shit on Twitter because dudes misconstrue words, but now I'm finally gonna get into it. We got to talk about our boy Ninja. He's causing controversy again. So he was okay. So he was interviewed by some outlet. I'm sorry, I don't know what outlet it was, and they were talking about him being an influencer, being like a hero to kids and all this shit. And he basically, and they were like, "How come you don't talk about certain social issues, because of your influence or whatever?" And apparently, some people were saying some shit in his comment section. So he says that it is not his job to parent other people's kids, and it is not his job to teach his audience about racism and white privilege. And I'm reading this, I'm like, yeah, he's right. And I'm not a Ninja fan, right? I'm not a Ninja fan, but I'm like, yeah, he's 100% right. What is Ninja? And I'm not trying to demean the guy. I'm not trying to hate the guy. What is Ninja? He's a fucking Fortnite streamer. You're going to go to him. He's supposed to be an authority on race and white privilege. The guy's just... listen, if you want to hear about that, you go to people that are actually knowledgeable in that shit. Ninja ain't it. I know he has like millions and millions of followers, but they're all fucking kids. They're not gonna understand that shit. They're gonna turn off and go somewhere else. They don't, it's like I've never liked that whole notion of like, oh, if you have millions of followers, you have a responsibility to teach them. No, you don't have a responsibility to do anything but fucking entertain them. The only responsibility Ninja has is to not say anything outlandish and crazy to his audience. Like, as long as he's not telling them to go fucking rob banks and kill their parents, he's fine. He doesn't need to do anything beyond that.
Or go storm the Capitol.
Yeah, like as long as he doesn't do, as long as he doesn't tell people to do crazy shit, he has no other responsibility than to entertain people. That's it. So I'm watching this.
Honestly, he kind of has the responsibility not to do exactly what he fucking did. I won't break this in too much into racial shit, but like Adam, I'll tell you, like, here's the thing. I'm white. I'm in a nice room. I can't say anything about racism because I'm privileged and white. It doesn't matter how much I worked for this shit. It doesn't matter how much, like, this could be inside a trailer, right? Like, you don't know what the outside of my house looks like. It could be this in a bedroom, but this looks nice. You got to be aware of the optics. I'm white in a nice looking place. Don't say shit about race. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, dude, you're not the authority on this shit. By the way, Brett's actually in a studio right now. You guys don't know if you turn the camera around. He's actually in Hollywood right now. It's all a movie set. I think. By the way, I need to say this real quick. Right? The reason I didn't talk about this is because I'm just being real right now. A bunch of my peers that I work with 100% disagree with me. They're like, no, since he has all this influence, he has to do this. So I'm like, come on, get out of here. That's ridiculous.
Okay,
so he's supposed. Let me finish. He's supposed to stop his show and just start talking about this stuff. I'm like, I'm sorry, and if this sounds racist, whatever, I'm not gonna pay a pasty white dude from wherever the fuck is. He is not credible to talk about that shit. He really is not.
See? That's why you don't say anything. Adam knows better.
But we've seen all this even with music. Whenever a band with metal or punk or whatever, and they get a big following, like all the parents put their pitchforks up. Oh, they need to say things positive to the kids, and they can't be too. It's like once you have an audience, this is what's expected.
Yeah, why?
So with PewDiePie, because of an audience, because they were like, well, if we can't talk, they're not listening to us, but they're listening to you. If a parent is having trouble with their kid, and kid storms off in the room and then jumps on their iPad or whatever and jumps on to watch some Fortnite or whatever, they're hoping that person is telling them good things and not telling them like what Marilyn Manson did when you played one of his songs back. Remember, it's like, fucking run away. Your parents don't love you. And he did the whole shit. He's like, that's what they think I'm doing. I'm gonna fucking do it then. So it was funny, but we've heard this before. We've heard this
a million times. Remember Charles Barkley? He got heat for that shit too back in the day, where he said, I'm not a role model. People got mad. Like,
I'm not a role model.
Let me explain it to you. Like, I don't agree with it. I'll make that fact right now, but I understand the opposing point of view, and the best way I can put it is Oscar speeches. Okay, like that's honestly probably where this whole idea started. People used to go up on Oscar speeches, thank the people that helped them make the movie, thank the people that helped support them personally, act appreciative, and then leave.
Okay? Marlon Brando.
This is, again, growing up through the 90s when shit got all weird and changed for this fucking post-2000 shit. At a certain point, people started arguing that because they have the stage, because they have the platform and all the eyes are on them, it is good time to shed light on a charitable or credible cause that doesn't have enough weight to garner attention by itself. And that was seen as charitable. And then it became seen as almost obligatory, like we see now. At this point, if you don't talk about something fluffy and nice and, you just go up and say something like, I'm against racism. Okay, cool. That helped. But it's about using the platform. Think of it like you give somebody a sword. They have that sword. It's kind of their responsibility to use it if somebody attacks a town and they're the only person with a sword. So I don't agree with it, again, but that's the argument. And when you're trying to understand it, that's
I understand it.
That's how you finally walk yourself to the fucking, it's your responsibility to do this shit.
Yeah, no, by the way, I should say I fully understand where they're coming from. I just think it's stupid. That's it. I understand the other side. I think it's dumb. That's it.
Just to add to this,
go ahead,
I think it was the New York Times that interviewed him.
Of course, the New York Times trash fucking website.
So that's where that started. Yeah,
that's a rag. What did Torrance call him? Fish wrap journalists? Yeah, there you go.
I think it's weird that you would think that this guy would be an authority on any of this stuff. If anything, I mean, to be honest. Why? Yeah, go to somebody who's actually an expert, who actually has dealt with it, who's actually had to deal with a lot of stuff. Ninja's not the guy,
Hey, listen, we're talking about plugging stuff real quick. Our homeboy Khalif Adams from Spawn. I mean, he talks about this stuff on his podcast all the time. Go check them out. That's an authority on this. Don't listen to Ninja. He's like, that guy's a clown.
But he already said that it's not his job. He already opted out of it. Yeah,
and I agree. And here's my thing with celebrities: like, if you want to do that stuff on your own time, tweet about it, make your own private video, go right ahead. But if you're doing the entertaining part, or in Ninja's case, the streaming, don't worry about that. Do your thing, and then you could talk about activist stuff off the clock. But it's like, again, it's like, imagine if we just stop doing this show right here to talk about some fucking activist shit. It's like, no one's here for that. They want to hear us talk about games.
Well, no, I disagree with that. I think we should talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk. But if it's not something that we're comfortable with, then we shouldn't talk about it.
But that's our choice, Carlos. If somebody came along in a chat or something and said, "Oh, you guys should be talking about white privilege," it's like, what?
There's a wrong show for that, man. We're talking about games.
I agree.
Here,
But what I'm saying is, like, if Ninja with his platform and whatever he's accumulated, he can talk about it whatever the hell he wants. I mean, it's his prerogative to do what he wants with his platform, whether it's games, whether it's activism, whether it's anime or hentai, whatever the hell he's into. he can do whatever he wants. But at the same time. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The one thing about it is that
Manny, let Carlos finish, and then
just real quick. I think I agree for the most part with Tony. He shouldn't be compelled to talk about this stuff, especially since he's not really an authority on anything. He's probably not that educated on it. I would assume.
Let's be real.
So I mean, I think the only responsibility he should have is just putting his audience in place. Like, if he's being a safe haven for racists or murderers or whatever, he should keep those in check. I think that's his responsibility.
I agree. Yeah, be like, make sure that your comment section is clean. We do that here. We got Barry Burnett and Kristen. They don't know. There's no tolerance on Throwdown. If that shit happens in the chat, they're gone. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. That's us being responsible, right? But us talking about certain things, I don't see that's being responsible. I'm like, we're just not talking about it because that's not what we do around here. Again, responsibility is making sure that your chat is clean and that you yourself don't say anything crazy and outlandish. That's it. Yeah.
I think this is a attempt. Oh, Manny, go ahead.
Manny, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, I do think, yes, he can talk about whatever he wants to talk about, but that also can affect his audience, and I'm sure that's exactly why he doesn't talk about a lot of that stuff. Is because it can negatively affect the things that he said. So what he's doing, so what he's doing is he's keeping to his wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what he does. So yeah.
I mean,
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch Mickey Mouse, he's not talking about, anything other than Mickey Mouse things, and that's what Ninja is. He's his own version of whatever a Mickey Mouse is in the gaming sphere, in the streaming sphere, and
video games. That's it. That's all he wants to do.
Not everyone.
Officially, he doesn't want to keep playing video games. He wants to expand, but he can't.
Oh yeah. It's all like we
good. Sorry.
We all place a sort of responsibility on, or we have this kind of notion that everyone is as intellectual, or everyone's as well versed, or everyone's as well educated as you are, and not everyone is, man. You meet some of these people, and I'm not saying Ninja is dumb. He's a fucking millionaire.
You don't have to be smart to be a millionaire, bro.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can bet on GameStop for a couple of thousand. But like, not everyone is adequate or is as educated to do this stuff, and some people they just have their own lane. And as long as they're not hurting someone, and as long as they're not throwing propaganda towards a bad cause, then I think you should just let them be.
That's it. I don't like having to.
I feel like there's always a round robin of kind of like a social justice litmus test for major influencers to bend the knee to, and I feel like he just is in the bullseye because this happened before.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, he made a comment, and they were asking him why he doesn't play against female gamers, and he's like, look, he's like, I'm trying to avoid problems with that, all right? Because what are they going to say? If he's like one of the top Fortnite players. If he trounces female gamers, they're going to call him sexist.
Yeah.
Right? That's a trap right there that he's trying to avoid. So they tried to pin him on that before.
The reason why he gave the reason. He said the reason why he doesn't do that stuff is because he doesn't want people to associate him with them as a sort of shipping and couples and stuff like that. So he doesn't want that to affect his marriage. That's what he said.
Yeah. And again, that's his right. He shouldn't be forced to play with anybody,
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to defend this guy. I don't give a fuck about Ninja, but I see something wrong here. I got to call it out, It's crazy.
I understand. Like, I understand when somebody goes and gives a big spiel or something like that, and an argument always erupts about, whether people want to hear that or whether it's intrusive or whether that they should be responsible for the platform. Where are we getting, I think the important question is, where are we getting this cry that demands that people utilize their platform? Like, that's kind of taking that idea to the nth degree. It's kind of like Chris says, it's this weird hoop that you have to jump through.
Yeah, and it comes in cycles. Like in the 80s, it happened to metal. I mean, they marched Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne into a courtroom and blamed them for the suicide of a kid.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Kennedy's had to go through the same shit.
Yeah. So in the 90s, the parents group went after animation cartoons. They changed the laws. They passed laws that you couldn't show. You had to show educational TV after 3 p.m. So we lost afternoon cartoons that we grew up with because the parents group went, we don't want the kids watching this shit, right? And that, what did they do after that? Joseph Lieberman and Hillary Clinton went and started trials about Mortal Kombat because video games were too violent. This just comes in waves. It's over and over again. It said, think of the children, and and this is the latest thing. Okay, streamers are having more influence over kids now apparently than their parents. That's because I think most parents today are fucking lazy.
Yeah.
And you put your kid in front of an iPad and stuff, and they're watching Ninja, and they'd rather listen to him than you. And they're like, "Well, Ninja needs to be a better role model. He doesn't need to do shit. Why don't you pull the iPad away at a certain time and be a parent?"
Yeah.
How about that? Give him the iPad and then tweet the creator, "Hey, teach my kid about racism. You teach him about racism. You're a parent." Yes.
Honestly, and here's I think I won't say I'm going to drop the mic. I won't say that.
Yeah, because you never do know. We got to still teach you how to drop the mic. But anyway, go ahead.
All right. So I rather Ninja, and I appreciate Ninja for what he says, and because that's much better than having a white person playing the white knight and pretending like there's some activist and just doing it for fucking
Thank
clout.
you. I was gonna say, could you imagine if he actually did do it? He would sound and look like a clown, and then people give him shit about that. Oh, you're some white boy. Why are you talking about that? It's like, but you wanted him to talk about that in the first place. What the fuck do you want? You want him to say something? You want him to not say something? Which is it? You know. So either way, he can't win. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy. But yeah, I think that's a good way of ending. It's like, how about you parent your fucking kids? How about that? You had them, you know. You spread your fucking legs and stuck your dick in them in this woman raw dog. How about you parent the kid instead instead of having some ninja dude do it?
Some kids get adopted, yo. Damn.
Apparently, because he talks to children, they think he's supposed to be Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, right.
No, hey, won't you be? What's he gonna do? Sing a song and stuff? No, that's not his deal.
Yeah,
depends on the song.
Yeah, he was never a child's entertainer.
No, he
Your
like
Crush Goblins are your responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And by the way, parents, if you're letting your kids listen to Throwdown, you're a bad fucking parent. We put that disclaimer up there for a reason, you know.